Hi everyone, this is Sasha from Women's Fight News, sponsored by Champions Memorabilia, and I am joined by pro boxer Kerry Haley. Kerry, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, not a problem. I'm just so excited that you are finally having your debut fight because you've had a bit of a nightmare, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a rough time. Two cancelled.
Mm.
COVID hasn't helped. One due to an opponent. So I'm third time lucky. I'm eventually getting out there.
Yeah, I'm so excited for you. It must be nothing worse than being prepped and getting ready for a fight and then they're getting cancelled. But like you say, third time lucky. So give us some details about your fight coming up.
Um, to be honest, I've been in fight camp for three times now. So this time I found it a little bit hard to cut weight. I've got to be 67 kilograms, which I was sticking a little bit a couple of weeks ago, but now it's finally coming down. I think because I didn't have a break between camps, and it just seems to have gone straight in.
Yeah.
But training's going really well. Always in the gym. That's nothing unusual. Always learning, and then ready to get out there. And after nearly 3 years out the ring now, so yeah.
Long time out the ring, but like you say, it's finally happening in Saturday in Newcastle. But like you've just said, obviously it does get difficult to obviously start cutting weight if you're having consecutive camps, because obviously you're peaking and then you've got to taper off and then nothing's happening. So have you kept motivated throughout that time?
Like I said, being in the gym is not unusual. Boxing's something that I've loved since the day one, and when I stepped into the boxing gym. I've always done sport, whether it's been football, swimming competitively. So it's not something that I've got to force myself to do. And it's something I love. I love learning, no matter what level you're at in boxing. I think you can always learn. There's always something to build on.
Yeah, definitely. So has that been a blessing in disguise to some degree where, obviously having 3 fight camps, you've obviously been able to develop and progress a lot, even without getting under the lights?
It is. I mean, my last pro debut got cancelled. I think it was 3 days before I found out that I couldn't get an opponent. So I was all ready to go, ready to weigh in, bang on weight. So it is a little bit disheartening, but I think it shows how much I want it when I stick around and I'm still in the gym full time.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. Because I think it's quite easy then to be like, oh, I've not got an opponent. I'm just going to go off for a couple of weeks, enjoy myself, and then kind of restart. But I suppose the thing is, you never know when the next fight and the next opportunity is going to come up as well.
Yeah. Obviously with COVID, everybody's the same. Once everything's lifted, there's a lot of shows going on, and from the get-go of yes, you can have a show. I think the opponents were at a shortage because everybody wants to fight.
Yeah. And it's hard as well, isn't it? Even still with COVID now, even though everything's quite relaxed in this country, getting fighters from abroad is still quite tricky. So obviously it makes the pool of fighters to pick from a little bit smaller as well. So I'm sure that hasn't helped.
No, definitely not.
No. So your story into boxing is actually quite a sad one, isn't it? So obviously I know you started, though you've done white collar and obviously you've progressed through the ranks, but what was the reason behind doing that first ever white collar fight?
It was something I've never really thought of. I've always liked boxing, but the opportunity wasn't there for females in the gym and stuff. So I had a bit of a rough patch where I lost my mum to breast cancer. She fought it for a long time. And when she did pass away, I was just moping about. Didn't know what I wanted to do, and they'd set a white collar up for cancer research. So always something I'd wanted to do. It was only the second one that they'd done in this area. So signed up for it, went to a meeting, and never looked back really.
Yeah. So how many white collar fights did you end up doing then?
I had 2 white collar fights, and then they advanced it a little bit where it was like the ultra collar boxing, where it was no head guards and littler gloves, to make it like just something else to progress onto. So I went on that and had a further 5 fights.
Okay. And what was your record then out of them 7 fights?
I've not, unfortunately, I lost my first one, and then I've won the rest of them.
Yes, that would give you. It's all right to lose your first one. I think that's acceptable, isn't it? As long as you crack on from there, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You then progressed to amateurs, didn't you? So, how did that come about? Was that always the plan that you wanted to go into amateurs?
To be totally honest with you, I was working with me amateur coach in the background of the unlicensed scene. He was helping out in the gym and stuff. And it was Neil Martin who actually said, "Why don't you give the amateurs a go?" And I thought, to be honest, I didn't think I was good enough. And I thought I was a little bit too old to start something up like that, which I'm glad I did it. So it was him that pushed us on to becoming the amateurs. Went into the amateur gym, totally different training, totally different perspective. And then I've had 10 fights as an amateur as well. So got that little bit of experience.
Yeah, and you were successful in the amateurs as well, weren't you? You done very well and you won a good few things, didn't you?
Yeah, my first year as an amateur, I managed to get 2 silver medals, one at the development championships, one at the first ever female winter box cup, and then I was lucky enough to get through to the final and win gold in the Harringay box cup. So yeah, done quite well.
Very well, to be fair. could have been a lot worse. And then was the decision always to then turn over pro? Was that always the end goal when you got into amateurs?
To tell you the truth, no. I think it was a bit of when COVID hit, it was a bit of where do we go from here? I'm not getting any younger. I think a lot of people think I've got more of a pro style than an amateur style. I like to stand and box and fight, where in the amateurs that's not always depending on your judges is what they're looking for. They're in for tippy-tappy points and in and out. And it was Neil again who said, "Why don't we give the pros a go?" Obviously, I would have to leave him as a coach and develop on from there. And I just thought, at this stage in my life and career in boxing, I just thought it's now or never. It's either a yes or no. And fortunately, I took the jump. Got another great coach in Nick Gittis, another great gym, training with Jordan, another female amateur who fought out of Lambton Street. And now she's my stablemate, and it's great to have her in the gym and push each other on.
Yeah, I mean, that must be so important, actually, having a great stable and having that connection with other fighters. But does it make a difference then having another female fighter in there as well?
Yeah, definitely. We get a lot of technical sparring with different weight classes and with totally different style of boxers. Where I would say all of Nick's boxers have got their own little unique style, and he adapts his training to the individual. It's not just it's his way or no way. He works on your weaknesses, he works on your strengths. And with Jordan, obviously we get on and with different boxers, so we do progress each other quite a bit.
Yeah, no, that's great, isn't it, though, as well? Because like you say, you bring the best out of each other then as well. And of course, you're both fighting on the same show as well, which must be great as well. Which I'm sure will help with any nerves and things like that come and fight night. You know, you've got someone there who's been on the journey with you as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit calmer than me, Jordan. I do really suffer badly with nerves on fight night and leading up to the fight. I mean, I'm starting to get nervous now, but once I get through the ropes in the ring, then it all just seems to go away as if a weight's been lifted off my shoulders. I've done the hard work and I'm there for a reason. So, yeah.
Yeah, I always think that, like, it must obviously be nerve-wracking. I know a lot of boxers deny that, but I'll never, ever believe that no one is nervous going into the ring. I'll just never buy it. But how do you then kind of cope with them nerves? Because I know you've just said, obviously, when you're in the ring, it doesn't matter then. I think the adrenaline will kick in. But do you know when it's leading up in the few hours before, do you think, like, why am I here? What have I done?
Yeah, exactly. I think, why do I put myself through this? Why am I here? But I just go like really quiet and just reflect on what I've done in the gym, trying to have a very long warm up to take my mind away from it. Try to warm up really early and get in the zone.
And is that kind of like your ritual then, trying to just get in the zone as early as possible that day, or, you know, obviously that evening before fighting, and then just kind of switch off from everyone else?
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. Yeah, obviously with me coach, we'll be warming up. I'll do my own little things, skipping, bands, shadow boxing, and just get in the zone and opening the show as well. So that's going to be exciting as well.
Brilliant. I was going to ask, at what point are you fighting? So so you've got to get the crowd going as well there, haven't you, with opening the show. So tell us about your fight then. Who's your opponent?
I've been matched with Claudia V. She's a Hungarian, very experienced fighter. Been in with a lot of top class fighters, Savannah Marshall being one, Stacey Copeland, along with a long list of others. So she does come for a fight. And I've watched a few of her fights, so we've got a game plan going into the ring.
And what weight will you be fighting at?
Welterweight, it'll be 67 kilograms.
Yeah, like you say, she's got a wealth of experience, your opponent as well. So it's always quite a good debut then, isn't it? Because, you know, she's, like you've just said, she's turning up to fight. You're not getting the win easy. You've obviously got to go in and work hard. But I'm sure as a fighter, that's what you want as well. Yeah,
especially with having a little bit of experience behind her. I don't agree with maybe he's getting a lesson of opponent. So, I do want matched equally.
So the only way you're going to learn, isn't it? I think, especially, you know, you've just been through 3 training camps. Like, you want to go fight at the end of that, don't you?
Yeah, definitely do. Yeah.
How many rounds are you doing?
I've gone straight in for 6 2-minute rounds.
Nice. So we're seeing more boxers do this now, especially female boxers, and I definitely prefer it over the 4 2 minutes, because I just think it's more ring time at the end of the day, isn't it? So was that your decision behind it?
It's something I've always I'm quite a slow starter as well, to be honest. I like to weigh things up in the ring the first round, and 2 minutes you haven't really got time. I would prefer 3 minutes like in the amateurs, because you do get that little bit more time to settle in and work a little bit more. But we've gone for the 6-2s to just get the experience, get the rounds in.
Definitely. And again, like, you've waited that long, you just want to get cracking now, don't you? You know, if you're having 2 or 3 4 round fights, then I think it delays the journey a little bit, doesn't it? If you're ready, you're good enough, you might as well just go straight in with the 6 rounds. You just mentioned then, obviously, you prefer 3-minute rounds. It is the biggest debate in boxing, I think, and I don't know how much longer we're going to have to hear it and whether anything will change. But clearly, you advocate for 3 minutes. What's the reason behind that?
I just think in female boxing as a whole, I think you would see a lot more stoppages in female boxing. A lot more technical boxing as well, because, like I said earlier, that you can settle into the rounds, you can get in your groove a little bit more, where 2 minutes fly over. But obviously there's a science behind it on why they don't let females at the minutes. But like you say, I hope they do lift it, because there is a lot of female boxers out there.
I don't think
that would prefer 3 rounds.
I don't think I've spoken to any female boxer that has said, I want to stick with 2. I think the only time I've heard that is if we're not going to get paid more, then I just want to keep doing 2. But I think everyone wants to do 3. So I know that, like you say, I'm sure there is a science behind it. But, you know, if you look at MMA, they do the same as the men. So it'll be interesting to see how much longer we all have to debate it, and if something will eventually happen in the future with that. So more about your fight. So, like you say, you're doing 6 2-minute rounds. You know your opponent. Where is it taking place?
It's at Newcastle City Juniors on the Matty Jobs' promotion shows, which is just outside of Newcastle. Yeah.
And it's this coming Saturday, so obviously not tomorrow, the week after. What time does it start?
I'm not sure what time the fights will start, but the doors open from 5 p.m. But it is a dinner do as well, so there will be a delay on the fights. But I'm not 100% when I will be fighting when the show will start.
Okay, that's fine. And are tickets still available if anyone would like to buy some tickets?
Me personally, I've got one ticket left available, but there is tickets, and I believe there's more tables being released for the event.
Okay. So if someone does want a ticket, obviously you've got one left, can they come to you and your social media? So you sorting it out?
Of course they can, yeah. I mean, I've got one ticket left. It doesn't mean that's all. I can get my hands on more if there is more than one comes to us. So yeah, if you need tickets, then hit us up.
Perfect. I will put your social links in the bio to this video. So you said you are fighting at welterweight. Have you got your eyes on anyone down the line, or anyone domestically, or anyone holding a title that you'd like to fight?
Not really at this point. I think I'll just baby steps. Just fight who's in front of us. Leave that down to my coach, my manager, and the matchmaker, and just fight whoever's in front of us. So no, and try and get a title. Obviously, as soon as possible. Everybody's wanting titles, but yeah, I'll serve my time in the pro ranks. And when that comes available, I'll definitely be going for it.
And do you have, I know it's hard to say now, but we've got, obviously there's no British title for women's boxing, which is quite frustrating, but you've got some people who are jumping straight to world titles, or you've got some of the girls now going to international titles. Do you have a plan in your head of what you'd like to do?
Obviously I would like to progress as far as I can in female boxing. And everybody wants a world title, international title. And if that opportunity comes, then yes, definitely that's what I am working towards. But I want to work my way up to it. I don't just want to be having 2 fights and then going straight for it. I want to go through the process and get there off my own accord.
Yeah, I think we see sometimes that girls move very quickly. They do win the world title, but then they can't hold the world title. So I was thinking it's about be ready. So then once it's in your arms, you're not letting it go then. Right. And then last question. So obviously I know you're fighting in a week's time. What's the plan after that? How quick do you want to get out for your next fight after that?
I would fight the week after if I could. But just as soon as possible. I'm wanting out a few times this year with having the disappointments of having 2 cancelled. I would say at least 3, maybe 4 this year before the year's out, if possible. Yeah.
Are you going to give yourself a little break? Because obviously you've had 3 consecutive camps now. You're going to give yourself like a week off? Yeah,
definitely. Maybe not a week out the gym, but definitely diet and cutting weight. I'm definitely gonna have a nice meal. Obviously Valentine's Day didn't have just a little box meal. So yeah, something I'll definitely be doing, going for a nice meal and or a couple.
Yeah, enjoy some food for a week after, and then you can get back to the gym.
Yeah.
Kerry, it's been great to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time, and then I wish you the best of luck in a week's time.
That's great. Thanks very much for having us on, and thanks for your time.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like and subscribe to our channel, where we have new videos dropping all of the time. Also head over to our social media pages, where we have the latest boxing news, as well as interviews and live coverage from boxing events.